Number one. It's coming. Why you messing up?
What is this?
Why you messing up?
Who is he talking
Damn, I'm in the zone up here.
Ain't nothing changed, nothing new here to see. This ain't nothing but some political maneuvering.
America.
Welcome to the eulogy, eat it up. It's called political buffoonery.
Oh yeah, he was classy right up until the end, wasn't he? Hey there everybody, and welcome to This Week in DUMBmocracy, where we showcase some of the dumbest newsmakers of the week. If it looks like I have a little more pep in my step for this video, if I'm in a better mood than normal, you're darn right I am, because we just got through primary day here in the People's Republic of New York, and we all got to say bye-bye to Jamaal Bowman.
What a day! What a great day!
The incumbent from the 16th Congressional District got his ass handed to him by George Latimer, much to the delight of many people in his district. We're going to break down the lessons to be learned from this buffoon, but before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other shows, and if you like what you're seeing here in this or any other video on the channel, you guys know what to do already. You got to smash that thumbs up button, like, comment, share the show with your friends, all that really, really good stuff, because all that feeds the YouTube algorithm.
Feeding time!
As always, thank you guys so much for all that you do to help grow the channel. You know I appreciate all those efforts. And for all you newbies out there, I hope that this video earns your subscription as we talk about what we can learn from this buffoon about how to run for office, how to properly represent your district, and what voters should do when their representative goes full Bowman. As of the making of this video overnight, Jamaal Bowman's full concession speech is not out there on social media. I can't really find the whole thing, so I'm cobbling together parts of it to see what we can learn from this buffoon based upon how he is closing out his campaign.
I'm delighted to see that you dressed for the occasion.
This movement has always been about justice. It has always been about humanity. It has always been about equality. And it has always been about our collective liberation.
Now, we've heard these themes before from Bowman at that rally over the weekend where he kind of lost it.
This is about our collective humanity fighting for our collective liberation. And on June 25th at 11 o'clock at night, once we win this race, inshallah, we will be liberated. We will be liberated. We will be liberated.
No, dingus. It's about your constituency. It's about serving the people who are sending you to represent them in Washington. You're talking about all this high and mighty national stuff. Jamaal Bowman lost sight of the first rule of politics. All politics is local. The local needs come first. That doesn't mean that you can't play outside the margins a little bit on issues of concern, but you gotta serve your district. Your district, in this case, Jamaal Bowman, the 16th, has a significant Jewish population. So when you go blaming Jewish organizations for coming into the district and putting down a lot of money, which, by the way, we'll get to that a little bit later in the video, you're offending a segment of your population that you need to keep sending you back to Washington. So while it's all great to talk about all these high and mighty ideas of justice and equality and humanity and liberation, again, I'm asking, liberation from what? You're the incumbent here. It's all great to talk about those ideas in the context of serving your district. You did a disservice to your district by not representing their values in Washington. And that's why you got the boot.
You had one job.
This race was never about me and me alone. It was never about this district and this district alone.
You see where you went wrong?
Jamaal Bowman forgot where he came from and decided to embrace a more national movement specifically when it came to this Israel-Hamas war, and that was ultimately his downfall.
It was always about all of us. Now, our opponents, not opponent, may have won this round at this time in this place. But this will be a battle for our humanity and justice for the rest of our lives.
Another thing he does here is he demonizes his opponents. And by implying that there's more than one, probably including AIPAC, the Conservative Jewish Political Action Committee, he is demonizing his own people in his district. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone in the district, every Jewish resident in the district, believes in what AIPAC believes. There are other Jewish organizations, other Jewish lobbies that are on the left, like J Street, for example, that fit maybe the people in the district better. In fact, Jamaal Bowman was working with J Street for a good part of his tenure in Congress. He went to Israel thanks to J Street to speak about his values there, to experience what's going on there. But he chose after October 7th to demonize his own constituency, and they didn't like it, and they voted him out.
We should not be well adjusted to a sick society. We should be outraged. We should be outraged when a super PAC of dark money can spend $20 million to brainwash people into believing something that isn't true. We should be outraged about that.
Oh, so Jamaal Bowman wants to talk about dark money now. He's, of course, talking about AIPAC, right? But you know what? Since you opened the door, Jamaal, let's talk about dark money, shall we? From the Yonkers Times, remember, all politics is local, right? So this is a local publication about news in Yonkers and around Westchester, the district, talking about Jamaal Bowman's dark money connections. Let's get into the article right now. Latimer calls out Bowman's dark money group that spent millions attacking Democrats. Democrat George Latimer, congressional candidate at the time, now the winner of the race, called out Congressman Jamaal Bowman for his dark money ties to organizations like the Justice Democrats Super PAC, which only works against other Democratic candidates. Justice Democrats have also been working to undermine President Biden by urging Democrats to withhold their support for the president in critical battleground states, allowing that bad man Donald Trump to make serious gains and hurting Democrats' chances of holding the White House or retaking Congress. Well, isn't that very interesting? Jamaal Bowman working against Democrats? I wonder why. The Super PAC has already done a six-figure spend to prop up Bowman's flailing campaign. Even back in May, people were saying this, which has been unable to gain any support from local Democratic committees and has seen less than 10% of its donations come from local donors. This is huge, folks. If you want to win, support nationally is all well and good. Being in the spotlight is all well and good. Being the Bella Figura on TV is all well and good. But if you don't have the support back home of your local county committees and your local donors, you're not going to win. Less than 10% of his donations coming from local donors? That's anemic. That's crazy. That's probably why he was complaining about big money coming in. The big money came in because they smelled blood in the water. They saw a weak incumbent. They saw a seat that they could get to a moderate Democrat. And, well, you saw what happened. The Super PAC falsely accused Democrat Latimer of being anti-choice despite Latimer's 100% pro-choice voting record. You see what they're doing here, demonizing George Latimer, et cetera, et cetera. I'm going to get to a part of the article that's a little more interesting for me, and that has to do with some more dark money that Jamaal Bowman was taking from a national level. Earlier this year, again, according to the Yonkers Times, this is going out to the local constituency. Bowman and fellow squad member Cori Bush hosted a fundraiser in LA, how chic, that cost about $13,000 per ticket. So you see what his priorities are here, right? Raising big ticket donor money. Oh, that sweet donor money. But he wasn't able to do it as much as Latimer did, I guess, right? That's the real lesson here about dark money. Don't blame others for your failures. Jamaal Bowman couldn't raise money himself locally. He had to resort to dark money of his own. And by the way, that dark money also included money from anti-Israel activists. His district has a significant Jewish population. Come on here. In addition to that $13,000 per ticket fundraiser, Bowman traveled to Fairfax, Virginia for a private fundraiser with Council on American Islamic Relations CARE director Nihad Awad, a controversial anti-Semitic figure who publicly stated that he was happy to see the 10/7 Hamas terrorist attacks in Israel. Do you get it now, Jamal?
You're such a hypocrite.
And by the way, when we're talking about dark money, it doesn't get darker than CARE. CARE also receives foreign funding, and they really, in my opinion, should register as foreign agents with FARA with the federal government. So when Jamaal Bowman is complaining about AIPAC money and his opponents, plural, and all the dog whistles about his boo-hoo racism from Jewish advocates, Bowman, heal thyself. You're playing the same quote-unquote dirty game as everybody else. Now, this might all sound like sour grapes from a right-leaning advocate or a right-leaning mouthpiece, whatever you want to call me. Grifter, I've been called everything, especially in the comments from the last video I did with Jamaal Bowman. But when we come back from the break, let's look at how some of the left-leaning media was perceiving Jamaal Bowman's campaign before he got the boot. Like what you see so far? Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Also, leave us a comment and tell us what you're thinking. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another show. I know, we're looking at MSDNC, but we're not talking about news reporting. We're talking about analysis from the left of Bowman's failed campaign. And who better to do that than another failed Democrat Congressman, Max Rose, who got beat by Republican Nicole Malliotakis. This analysis is gold. Let's take a listen to what MSDNC had to say about Bowman's dead-on-arrival campaign before the polls closed.
Some people have said that Bowman is committing purposefully. It seems like he's purposefully committing political suicide. He's alienated AIPAC, fine. It's conservative, and there are a lot of Jews who don't stand with AIPAC at all. But he's also blown off or thrown off J Street, which was a group that he was affiliated with, that he was supported by in his last race. And J Street is a more liberal Jewish organization. They hosted him on a trip to Israel where his views about the conflict with Palestinians were solidified. And people who say, you're representing a district that includes such a big Jewish population, you can't blow off both of those groups. It's political suicide.
Sure. Yeah, look, it's pretty obvious. And he's pretty cooked in this race. For the very reason that, you can not vote your district to a certain extent as an elected official. You can push your district to be more progressive or more conservative. But what you've seen from him is two things which together have produced a pretty bad cocktail. One is that he has not voted his district really to the extreme, particularly on the issue of Israel. But the other is that he's come off to his electorate as fundamentally unserious.
And here's another lesson to learn from Jamaal Bowman. Never go full Bowman.
Show them who the fuck we are. We're gonna show them who the fuck we are. Bowman!
We saw it over the weekend with that ridiculous foul-mouthed rally, and we saw it in Congress when he pulled that fire alarm while Congress was in session.
And actually anti-President Biden at certain moments, right? He voted against the infrastructure bill, for instance, a signature bill of the president's. And he also pulled the fire alarm, which symbolically has just been pretty politically harmful to him And that's why you see so much of this money pouring in, because they do see him to be so especially vulnerable. It's very rare to see a successful primary from the middle, not from the left.
Bowman's unserious nature, his buffoonish nature that I talk about in my book, which I'm grabbing right now, Schnooks, Crooks, Liars, and Scoundrels, a field guide to identifying political buffoons, available right now on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores. Bowman's buffoonish nature did him in. His proclivity for profanity, his tendency to pull fire alarms for just being an unserious, buffoonish character, that did him in. More importantly, what that buffoonish nature did was cause his own constituency to not take him seriously, to dislike him, to disfavor him, which in turn led to drying up of donations and lack of support locally in Democratic circles in his local county committee, which led to the Sharks smelling the blood in the water and dumping a lot of money, investing in a new candidate. It was a buffoonish recipe for disaster, and Jamaal Bowman got cooked, as Max Rose said, by his own buffoonery. To close things out, here's a lesson not to be learned from Jamaal Bowman's loss here in the 16th Congressional District. Progressive Democratic politics is not in danger of going away. The squad may have lost one member, but every race is unique. Politics is local. Every district is different. Jamaal Bowman didn't represent the needs or the values of the 16th Congressional District. That doesn't mean that Ilhan Omar is going to lose similarly, or Rashida Tlaib is going to lose similarly, or even AOC. They all represent their district and the values coming out of those districts. Tlaib has a majority Muslim district in Dearborn, Michigan. Ilhan Omar, the same thing with the local population there. AOC is a progressive darling. So before you start saying that this is a bellwether for socialist and fringe left people,
Think again!
You got another thing coming. That's not what's happening here. What is happening here is a reaffirmation of the power of local politics to look at candidates, scrutinize their records, scrutinize their personality, and to make the decision to get rid of them. Let this be a lesson to the nation that you can stop political buffoons like Jamaal Bowman from representing you in the halls of government once they let go of your values and start grasping onto their own. Or if they decide to represent themselves and to feather their nest and to feather their own notoriety, or for whatever other reason may be out there, that representative stops representing you, forgets where they came from, and you guys are the ones to give them the boot. I am so happy to see this, and for you guys to see this, that, you know what? The concepts in the book work. Look at these candidates, scrutinize them deeply, not only for their record, but for who they are, how they lie to you. Jamaal Bowman lied to his constituency concerning the atrocities of October 7th and only changed his tune when the UN confirmed many of those atrocities that Jamaal Bowman was denying for so long. That's just another example of a buffoon losing the support of the people who put him or her in office. That's what happened here, folks. Those are the lessons to be learned. And I want to know now what you guys think about those lessons. Do you agree or disagree with me? Let's get into the comments just like everybody did in the last video with Jamaal Bowman. I saw all of you in there talking a lot of that anti-Israel stuff, and that's all well and good. You kept it civil. I appreciated the lively discussions. But let's do it again. Let's get into the comments together, talk about the demise of Congressman Jamaal Bowman, what you think the future holds and all that. Let's talk about it. And as always, like and share this video with your friends. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the shows. I'll see you guys later discussing this video and all the other shenanigans and buffoonery happening every day this week in DUMBmocracy.
All views views and opinions expressed here are not necessarily of the mainstream media and may offend some listeners. It's called political buffoonery.